Do you believe in the existence of extraterrestrials?
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fester, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Saturday, August 1st. Yes, we're into the home stretch, folks. We've got 6 months to go until the end of the year. Actually, 5 months to go until the end of the year. What the hell am I talking about? Yeah. Let's see where disclosure goes, and it's heating up again today. And the president wants to get to the bottom of the fucking deep state, and that's what I absolutely love. On that note, let's go ahead and welcome in our audience. Where the heck's the audience at? Oh yeah, here they are. We have to introduce them because it's a live show, folks. Who the heck do we have out there? Let's take a look. Well, at the top of the stack we've got today is the Greasy Weasel, followed by Anne Marie. We got Anonymous is in the chat along, and April. Good to see you, Avi, all the way from India. Yeah, he's one of our mods, and he will be here. Good to have you, friends. Behave. Cabriolet, it's out there along with Brains. We got Craig Smith, Dan Larev, and Doc. I see Eliza and Elvis and Galactic Family Podcast. We got Grateful Benny, Hobbit Mouse. Hog is out there. Along with It's Stellar. Good to see Jericho and Junior Brand. We got Julie Boyce in the chat along with Caitlin. Kelly Broughton, those piercing blue eyes. Good to see you. Kelly is in the chat as well. King Bold 90 is out there along with Kiwi DJ, Light Melinda. Lori G. Melora, I think. There we go. Melora's out there along with Mississippian and Mr. Joey B. Miss Cussouts on the chat along with our dear friend Necessary Dialogue. We've got Sam and Scooby Dooby Gooby. Skywatch Signal from Twitter is here, folks. Yeah, he just got 100,000 subs. Congratulations, my friend. That's over on X. Who else do we have? We've got Wasteland Wonder. Wicklow. Good to see you along with Wolfie, and of course our dear friend Yellow Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy. How about that? Well, another day, another dollar, another live stream to get into it. And yes, we're here for the Saturday edition of UFO News Update on Disclosure Tonight, where we go ahead and want to call it turn back the clock to take a look at everything that's been going on for the week for our dear friends in United Kingdom, because rather than start, we start at 10 p.m. UK time to go ahead and give them their own version of Disclosure Tonight at the right time. On that point, let's go ahead and bring in our dear friend Mike. How the hell are you?
Well, I'm doing well, and we obviously have a lot to talk about today. There's been a lot going on the past week, so we're going to catch up.
Yeah, the last week, but even this morning.
Yeah, I know.
We've got the whole, if you want to call it, the new the directive on the NDA coming from the Trump administration has been released. If I can go ahead and find here, we'll bring up and go through it. But it's good to see that kind of stuff going on where the information's getting a little bit more clarified. Some people are still going ahead and complaining, saying it's not enough. But I tell you, it's a good start, and it shows what we've heard earlier, that the president himself is personally interested and wants to get to the bottom of the deep state mess. I believe we heard some things coming from Stephen Miller, who's like Trump's right-hand man, correct?
Correct. That's absolutely right. Yeah.
All right. So let's find the one that's... Oh, and by the way, to go along with Trump's announcement today, let's go ahead. And he did just do a repost, what he put on his Truth Social before. Let's get video, Thomas Guest. Let's get to it. All right. So here we go again. Once again, we've got Trump posting the picture of him walking along with a gray alien. Not sure what the message is he's trying to get along with this one, but it does show that he's not going to let this subject die on the vine, which I like to see. And it gets people talking about it, because we were just talking about this. Without the latest pursuit drop happening, the whole conversation about what's going on with Disclosure kind of ran dry in the mass media.
Oh, it did, because there was nothing new for them to cover. So it died on the vine, which is what happens with mass media.
Yeah, but then we had the stuff come out with Lou. Actually, and everything else, and that just kind of stirred up the hornet's nest, unfortunately.
Not in a good way, right?
Yeah. It's never a good thing when you stir up a hornet's nest, Mike.
No, I know. It wasn't good news, and unfortunately, it's still ongoing. So people tend to like, the drama and all the petty nonsense that goes on out there.
Yeah, and Lou says something, and everyone wants to take it out of context and make it more than it is, like they've done in the past. Oh, they're saying Lou is threatening Gerb. No, he's not.
No.
Lou doesn't make threats. He tells you what's going to happen.
Right. That's exactly right. But people don't seem to know that, so they want to make a mountain out of a molehill. So they'll turn on anything that comes out of his mouth because that's what they do. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation to say the least. So now let's get to the post that comes initially from Representative Eric Burleson, who released the document. Kudos to Eric for sharing this with us. So let's get back to the video guest. All right, here we go. Post. Today, I'm from Representative Eric Burleson, of course, over on X. Today, I'm releasing preliminary implementation guidance shared by the Trump administration regarding President Trump's UAP NDA Directive. If you have any questions about the directive or you believe it may apply to you, I encourage you to contact my office or another member of Congress if you need assistance navigating the process. Just to know, though, if you're a whistleblower watching and you take that route, you can't tell Congress anything and disclose anything to them because you will be in violation of your NDAs, I believe. Correct, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You cannot speak publicly, only within authorized channels, which is right now, I believe, Arrow and Pursue.
That is correct.
Yep.
That is correct, sir. So let me get this 2 pages up. 1 second here. Open. Let's move it into something that's a little bit more friendlier for us to go ahead and check out. All right, here we go. Make this a little bit larger so our friends watching this on whatever format. Maybe one more time. Can I get it there? Can I get it? Come on, come on. Yeah, it's as big as we're going to get it. So, okay, there we go. All right, so this is coming from the principal deputy director of national intelligence, not the guy in charge, but equivalent to his Barney Fife, right, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
Memorandum for distribution. Oh, it's not going to let me select and highlight this stuff. How nice of it. All right, so let's get into a preliminary guidance. Come on, let me select it. Preliminary guidance for implementation of NDA waiver. This was issued, as far as we know, yesterday, July 31st, 2026. Subject. This memorandum, or the subject is preliminary guidance, for implementation of the NDA waiver. This memorandum provides a preliminary guidance, for the release of all unidentified anomalous phenomena information to the Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters, known as the Pursue Task Force for Review and Declassification. So they want to get the information from the whistleblowers. They'll review it, and then they will determine what can be declassified. Makes sense so far, Mike?
It does. Yeah, I'm with you.
Now, a lot of people are complaining, oh my God, they're not uncorking me. We can't go ahead and talk to the public. We can't talk to the media about this. We can't talk to Congress about this. Yeah. Did you think they would get anything different?
No, not at all.
We'd like it, but it's just the reality of the card game we're playing right now. All right, consistent with the presidential direction, the Department of War and intelligence community, you notice they're not saying DOE.
No, they're not.
Will implement a process to ensure current and former government employees and contractors with relevant information on UAPs shall have prior non-disclosure agreements, oaths, or commitments waived when speaking with authorized government representatives of ARO or Pursue. So, let's get this. Shall have prior non-disclosure agreements oaths or commitments waived. So there's a lot of people, whistleblowers, Matthew Brown out there going ahead and saying this doesn't keep you from getting in trouble. Well, maybe if you did some really nasty shit and you want immunity, you might not get it. But what it's doing is it's taking any retribution, any kind of things that could come back at you. And I guess it kind of makes it mute, Mike, because if they waive their NDAs, agreements, or oaths or commitments, that kind of opens the opportunity for them to talk about any of the stuff that's going on, right?
It would. Yeah, look, if we got the executive order that Trump promised us to declassify a lot of the UAP information the government has, then these people could come forward, but they would also need the whistleblower protections in place that we don't currently have. Otherwise, they would be subjected to repercussions, and their job and their national security clearances would be at risk if they just came out and talked to the public.
Well, yeah, of course, they'd go to fucking prison.
Yeah,
potentially be executed under the Espionage Act.
Well, yeah, that as well. Exactly.
So yeah, they want to be uncorked to get on the stage with Jeremy Corbell is what it sounds like.
Yeah, like Matthew Brown did, but that's not in play right now.
No, at least something is in play. Let's move on this one. Here we go. Let's bring this up a little higher and get into it. All members of the intelligence community, within 30 days of receipt of this memorandum, coordinate with the Office of Director of National Intelligence to establish a pursue designee and inform their workforce of the president's order. So it's going to take them up to 30 days from July 31st. So by the end of August, they have to have this in order. Subsequently, ensure the workforce is aware that any previous or existing NDAs prohibiting disclosure to the president or designees like pursue are no longer in force, and anyone with knowledge of UAP information should report all such information to RO or to an authorized pursue representative.
Right. Which is exactly how it should be.
So this is the president ordering people to tell him what he wants to know. Because it's not just saying, prohibiting disclosure to the president. They've talked about this for the longest time, Mike, that, what do you want to call it? That the president has been kept from the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
For 80 years now is what the public has heard, correct?
Right.
This is specifically addressing that and saying, hey, if you have anything that the president is not supposed to be aware of, now is the time to bring it forward.
Yeah. And as Avi is saying in the chat right now, that even Matthew Brown is coming out, and we'll get to his tweets in a bit, that Matthew Brown said even this NDA order is not the one thing he brings up in his conversation is he's concerned that there's no immunity for people coming out and talking about stuff. I guess that they would need immunity if they were doing really nasty shit that was in violation of the Constitution of the United States of America that governs the entire United States government. I guess, but time will tell. So if they got, so it's almost like saying, don't come forward, people.
No, they need to come forward, but they need to have protections in place.
Yeah.
So we don't have that yet.
No, we don't. So detailed reporting procedures will be disseminated to intelligence community components within the next 30 days. In addition, the Department of War and Office of Director of National Intelligence will be issuing to departments and agencies detailed implementation guidance for their broader Pursue Transparency project. So there's a lot of things that are being brought up. It's not perfect, but at least it's a step in the right direction. You can't take the baby Trump and throw it out with the bathwater at this point. No, or the baby Jesus for that matter. You have to go ahead and look, we've got a step in the right direction. Not everything has been put into writing, and this is still kind of vague to a degree, which is good.
Yeah. No, you're right. It is good.
So,
Absolutely.
Michael Sokoloff, your hand is up, my friend.
Yeah, how is Pursue going to be transparent when not even the president of the United States is on a need-to-know basis? And I'd also like to know how is it possible for his government to tell him he can't know something and only be on a need-to-know basis? That's because the president is he not the highest person?
There's no official thing that says he's on a need to know basis. That's made up.
I know.
The president is allowed. The president is the president.
So why did they tell him that then? How can they do that?
It's called the iPad. Mike.
Yeah, I know.
We got you. I had to mute you for a second. It's just a little loud in the background. All right. So how are they going to go ahead and be able to prohibit disclosure to the president? That's the problem. If they've signed agreements that prohibit the president from knowing what's going on, Michael, it's a tough situation to be in. And
so if that's the case, and that's what I'm saying, if that's the case, then how is Pursue supposed to be transparent if not even the president can know what's going on?
Well, Pursue will get the information from the whistleblowers. That information will also disseminate beyond Pursue to the president directly. Or it sounds like they could actually, tell the information directly to the president, saying prohibiting disclosure to the president or designees like Pursue are no longer in force. So this is the president over the executive branch saying anything you've made these people sign, it's dead. No more. Tell me what's going on. I'd like to know. You guys have been lying to the president of the United States or keeping this information for the longest time. Oh, Nick, shove a sock in it, please. Avi, attack. Thank you.
So under Article 2 of the Constitution.
TDS here, folks. We're not going to tolerate any TDS in the chat. If you can't approach this from a bipartisan method and you have to get down to your TDS methods, aren't there protests they can go out and go to today instead of being in the chat? Just saying honestly.
They can.
Yeah.
You're right. Without a doubt.
You were saying, Michael.
What I was saying is that under Article 2 of the U.S. Constitution, the President of the United States has full access to any and everything the government is involved in. There is no separate clause that excludes the President, is my point.
Right. And whoever wrote the NDA or had somebody sign it should be criminally liable because you cannot prohibit talking to the president about things of national security.
You really can't. Right. No, well, it would be unconstitutional if somebody was stupid enough to write that in there.
And somebody certainly did.
Yeah, well, maybe, but now this memorandum is reversing that. It's about time. It's long overdue. I like what was written in here. Yeah. And this should now apply in the next 30 days to every person in the government that's sitting on these secrets now has to come forward and reveal that information to the president, like it or not. And if it's found out that they are holding information after this memorandum has been put in place, they could lose their job or go to jail or both.
So you're saying that the gatekeepers are done?
Well, no, it's chess. It's 40 chess at this point.
And that only applies to the people that work within the government. This memorandum applies to them. It's not directed to a private company or contractors. So
it does go to contractors.
Well, and what we're seeing here, it doesn't.
No, it does. We'll implement a process to ensure current and former government employees and contractors with relevant information on UAPs shall have prior non-disclosure agreements.
I'm seeing it. No,
agreements, oaths, and commitments waived when speaking to them. And those would include any NDAs that those individuals had signed on behalf of the work that they were doing with the federal government by the government contractors. So if they were working on a deep project in an unnamed project that's out there, right? And this is coming through the federal government, and they were doing their research based on funding from the federal government. Any NDAs that were, if you want to call it, in play for their employment, coming from the President of the United States, he's saying they're null and void. Now, I guess that could be argued in civil court here or there, potentially, but, Would
that include foreigners working for the U.S. government?
Yes, it would. Anyone working for the U.S. government or its contractors.
Like Lockheed Martin and any of the rest of the military-industrial complex.
Or the MITRE Corporation or anyone else.
All of them are now bound by this memorandum.
Yeah,
I understand. Who was it who said they didn't go far enough to say that there would be immunity? Because it doesn't have to be necessarily bad stuff that happened. They're just worried about getting sued from their companies, would be my guess, for going and doing what this says.
I would probably say the NDAs that are the agreements that are in place. That's what we would have to see. Is they probably have greater insight on this? Is the agreements that are underway from between the United States government and the contractors directly, that would govern that part, and potentially that's where Trump is targeting. We'll find out. But even if they give them immunity, it's still not going to do anything because it's immunity in the federal government, not in civil court. Just like with Fauci, who was granted immunity. That was a major topic this week, right? He was given immunity from the president, right? With the auto pen from 2014 going forward, but that's only from federal lawsuits. The reach of the federal government only reaches so far.
On advice of counsel, I cannot answer your questions, and so, yeah.
Yeah, you've forgotten the rest of it already, although we heard it 125 times.
Yeah.
And it got better every single time we heard it.
Oh, yeah.
So, good thing or bad thing, either way.
This is a good thing. If this comes out, I mean, if somebody says, well, who made you sign the NDA? Then maybe we can actually start to drain the deep state or drain the swamp as what was always.
That's what it's about. So here's the distribution. It's going to the director of the CIA, director of the DIA, director of the Geospatial National Intelligence Agency, director of the good old National Reconnaissance Office, also known as the NRO. It's going to the NSA. It's going to the FBI. It's going to the Department of War. It's going to the Department of Homeland Security. It's going to the Assistant Secretary for Intelligence and Research, Department of State. It's going to the Department of Treasury, Chief of Intelligence and DEA. It's going to the Counterintelligence. Oh, wait a minute. Director of the Office of Intelligence, Counterintelligence, Department of Energy. So we thought DOE was left out, Mike. It's not.
No, they're not. They're directly listed in this. Yeah, all facets of the government that the president has domain over, which is all of it, are going to have to comply with this. Now, we know how it works.
But wait, there's more. It's going to the Army. It's going to the Marine Corps. It's going to the
Air Force?
The Navy. It's going to the Space Force. Is the Air Force in here? It's going to the Air Force and even our friends in the United States Coast Guard.
Does that include NASA?
Huh?
NASA. Does it include NASA?
Oh, true. We didn't see NASA, but wait, there's more. We've got a clip from Jared Isaacman here somewhere. I know I've got that fucking video from last night. Here he is. All right. Talking about NASA, let's go with the flow of things here a little bit. This came out, I guess.
Andy's had his hand up for a while, and being that it's a British kind of.
Go for it, today. Andy. Sorry, I missed you, my friend.
That's all right. That's all right, guys. Yeah. This with hang on to Mike.
I got him.
Mutes himself. This with pursue. I'm hopeful that it's going to go better than Arrow did. We all know Arrow's a busted flush. The only thing I'm worrying about all of this again is, are these people only going to be able to talk in a skiff? What's the framework
I would
when
probably
they
say
go to talk?
But we don't know. We don't know the specific details.
Then, the issue I have then, if they're able to talk to certain individuals in a skiff, what's the position that these individuals that are spoken to can then pass this information onwards, or are they locked in as well? That's where I worry.
Locked in how? Which way?
Anybody, if Tim Burchett or any of your, congressmen or senators have gone into a skiff to hear stuff, once they're in the skiff, they can't talk about what they've heard in that skiff.
So I got it. So people.
So if they go into a skiff with whoever's in pursuit, whether it be Lou or whoever is in pursuit, because it's not even really started yet, so we don't know how it's going to work. Once they go into that skiff, is it going to be that those people who are in that skiff being given that information are then not allowed to pass that information outside the skiff?
No. The information that they have goes back to the board. That's the director over, if you want to call it, the actual governing. What is it called again? The governance board, UAP governance board from Pursue, right? Any information that's convened to them in the skiff is actually something that's then brought to the UAP governance board from Pursue, right? Outside of the skiff, and they talk about it and determine what they want to bring out or not, whether they have those meetings in a skiff or they just do it over some kind of a conference or a direct meeting. It sounds like if they're declassifying it, right, and they're allowing it to be discussed with Pursue or Aro, it sounds like it doesn't have to even be in a skiff, Andy.
Yeah, that was my main worry. Is it going to just be another lockdown system? I'm hoping it's not. So I'm hoping they've got a framework involved where this information can be moved along rather than just, stonewalled and it doesn't go anywhere. Once you've heard it in the skiff, like happens now, that's it. You're locked in and you're not allowed to talk about it to anybody else. There needs to be a way to get it out of that skiff, even if it doesn't make the members of public. And I'm reading the chat.
It doesn't sound. Come on, the president is bought in. If he keeps on posting these pictures with him walking with a fucking gray alien, and we get the stuff from the ODNI coming out and stuff, he's going lockstep in this stuff. So has it been a cover up for 80 years? Fuck yes. Is Trump continuing to cover up? Maybe in some areas, yes, because of Daryl, national security.
Nope. Hold on, let me turn the camera back on.
Uh-huh.
I'm here.
Yeah, hold it. There we go, my friend. Cheers.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my understanding, Andy, is that all and any information that the government has had on UAP over 80 plus years under this executive memorandum are now required to divulge and release that information to members of Arrow, Pursue, which in turn will then go to the President of the United States, not the public. And the President will determine what he wants to release publicly or not.
Okay, so we know what the track record of Arrow, whether Kirkpatrick's gone or not. There's still a bad taste in the mouth.
Arrow was broken. Lou has come out and said Arrow was broken. Oh, you went on. Cheers, Andy. Hold on. Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers. The only way we can get rid of it is with a bit of our national disclosure here. Take the taste away. So I'm hopeful for Pursue. I know people are getting their hair off in chat and out in the wider world, but it hasn't even really started yet. And whether Lou's going to be involved, give it time, people. What is it? The proof of the pudding's in the eating. Let's see what actually happens. We have got far more disclosure in the last 6 months than we've had, as you said, in 80 years. People really need to realize, even though, it might be these disclosure dots and, a few random documents, but we didn't even get that a year ago.
It's a start, right? And the start we've gotten so far is better than we've ever gotten. Yes, we're complaining it's disclosure dots. We want to see more. We want more than what we're getting, but at least we're getting a foundation. We're getting traction to move this fucking bitch forward. And there may be other things that are in play that are going to come out, but at least we're getting forward momentum on a fucking weekly basis, right?
Yeah, we've been showing Dr. Phil, and no matter what people think about this chap, I don't know anything about the guy, basically, because I'm from the UK, but he's not even talking to us. The information, and it's been really good information. I don't know whether he's looked into it or whoever his researchers are.
He's for the normies.
he's for the normies. You know, we all know about this subject. There are so many more people outside of this sphere that we're in who don't know about it. And, you know, people like Dr. Phil are giving them the information and leading them by the hand to bring them up to speed to where we are. You're going to get more people interested in this subject. That's what we want. People like him talking.
You get someone like Christopher Mellon coming out there and talking. The normies are going to hear the first half a sentence of what he's saying, and they're all going to go deaf. Kind of like when they had the psychologist that was on there that just comes on blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. It'd be great if Dr. Phil did a majority of the conversation and brought in little sound bites from the interview and use that as the method to bring out to the masses. Because when you get into some of these deep conversations from some of these people, it just goes, you know, like an F-35 that's not going to crash right over their fucking head.
Well, I can speak from my own personal, you know, position. I've got a very short attention span. Yeah, I'm one of those people that if I wasn't in the subject and somebody like Mellon was coming along, 5 minutes later, I'm getting a blank stare and I start to dribble, which makes an awful mess of me beard, even more than it's in a mess anyway. And I zone out. You know, so you need, when you're being brought into the subject, it's such a deep subject, as we all know. If you're new to it, you need to be held by the hand and gently guided along, and then people will start looking for their own information. And that, you know, we are getting to a point now, whether people like it or not, no matter how slow it is, this is getting out to a wider audience. You are able to go out and talk to people and not being looked at by people as though you're crazy.
Yeah.
There are so many more people now that are actually, if not interested in the subject, they're aware of the subject. So I'm hopefully optimistic.
Yeah.
You know,
like Thomas just pointed out, we got a new picture of the president walking with a gray alien. The only issue is that he's 6'4", and the alien seems to be the same size as him. So I have an issue with that.
There's a regular gray and there's a tall gray. So
6'4".
Well, that'd be like 6'6" or so, 6'8". Who knows? But either way, you know what? It may not be right. At least it's not a little fucking green man from Mars that everyone keeps on bringing up. Right?
And if the president gets this information, and in about 30 days or more, we'll find out, then we're going to see what he brings out. Something is better than nothing. And right now, we now know that if they have been hiding things from him, now they're going to have no choice but to reveal it.
You know, Nick P., he's still in the chat. I kept him around, Mike, because I just timed him out for the time because he was naughty. But he was just going on saying, but it's a joke to Trump. That pic tells you what he thinks about all this. No, what he's doing is he's reaching out to the normies. He's trying to normalize this kind of shit. Talking about the Greys and the president. Talking about, if you want to call it, this directive that we just got, right?
Yeah.
That's the key. The people don't realize it's a multi-pronged attack coming from the president, going after the fucking deep state, going ahead. What is it saying? Drain the swamp?
Yeah.
He's fighting this flat out.
Oh, I have two quick points to make. One, this is the only president, doesn't matter if he's Republican, Democratic, who has brought disclosure out to the public. And it wouldn't matter if it was Joe Biden who was doing this or Donald Trump. Doesn't matter.
They've all had chances in the past. Biden all the way back to Washington.
Yes. Well, my point about this is that he's the only president who is moving forward on this issue. So think what you will about him personally or politically, doesn't change the fact that for disclosure, this is what we need, and this seems to be what we're getting. And that's why we're apolitical on this show. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle they come from. Anyone that's willing to bring the truth out, we're behind. The second point I want to make is that Nick said in the front chat that he was a mod for Pavel's show, Psychoactivo, and he was just banned. So that's why he came here.
Oh.
So we don't want
like
him.
Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
okay.
we don't want him to leave, but because we're not fans of that show either.
No, but you actually kicked him out, but I unkicked him out and timed him out for 60 seconds.
Good. So I just want to say, yeah, we'll talk to him, but he has to just chill out and look at what we're saying about
exactly. And again, take your TDS hat, your blue TDS hat off and put it off to the side. We're not telling you to go ahead and put on the red hat that says "Make America Great Again." No, "Make aliens great again" is what we're going towards at this point, and we've got someone to get there. So even if you don't like some of the stuff Trump or other things are going on, at least fucking recognize what he's trying to do for human. I mean, he's not doing it for the red or the blue. He's doing it for all of humanity. Let's be honest.
Because this is supposed to be bipartisan.
Yeah. And everyone thinks, oh my God, we're going to have to wait all these years and all this stuff to bring out the truth. Mike, I think he's going to bring out the hard truth before he goes out of fucking office, just to go ahead and fuck with the world, because then he goes down in history for bringing it out.
He does. And I'm pretty sure that that's the mission that he's on right now.
And Nick just said Trump does everything for one person. Okay, maybe he does. But what's happening right now, and I've been watching the comments about how the government will never get anything. The government is so slow and blah blah blah. Just remember what it was. Just remember what it was 5 months ago.
Right.
You didn't have regular
a memorandum like this.
40 videos. You had guys that were giving you crap from Aro.
Right. Yep.
I mean, and that's a drip.
I mean, look
was
at
like once every 2 years.
Look at the last thing we had from Aro, right? Where the last yearly report was total fucking bullshit. And then we get the stuff from Pursuit that blows it out of the water. So it just shows, Aro's part of the cover-up. They're part of the problem.
And if he's doing it for himself, please do it more, because we're getting stuff. Right. We're getting a lot more stuff than we ever have gotten quickly.
Ever.
So everybody just cheer up back there.
And this is an attempt to go ahead and build new Trump hotels in the what do you want to call it, in the interdimensional space? No, it's about bringing out the truth of the American people. It's part of the deep state. If you want to call it, this may be one of the founding issues of the deep state that actually kicked it off, Daryl. Unlimited money, national security, cover it all up. Everyone can do whatever they want in the name of national security and skirt under the Constitution of the United States of America.
And it looks like Trump is taking it back with this memorandum.
It's about fucking time.
It is. I agree. That's what this is supposed to be about.
Trump's not a Republican, and he's not a Democrat. He's a Trump, flat out.
Yes. Yep. He's an outsider.
Yeah. And he's always been.
Right.
And he used to be Democrat like me and probably like you in some respects, but the Democrat Party has moved so fucking far to the left, it's unrecognizable.
God. Yep. No, it's a disgrace is what it is at this point.
No. Biden was more of a crook, Nick. Come on. Is that all you can come out with? Be positive for once. Do you want the truth, Nick?
Yeah,
Do you really want the truth? You want us to get down to where we're at? Take your psyop manufactured hate against Trump that came from the lamestream media and the fucking deep state and just realized we've got something that's actually moving the fucking needle forward in major steps. That's a good thing.
Focus on disclosure, not on politics, Nick.
Yeah.
Focus on the results.
Yeah.
On the results. The results right now you're getting way more results.
I love it.
I mean, and so everybody, again, cheer up in the chat, because this is what I thought would happen. We're just so involved in it every day that it doesn't move fast enough for us. But the fact is, it's moving way faster than it ever has. I mean, you would get something one every 2 years.
I need to get
once a year from the government. I mean, not 40 in one drop and every few weeks.
Copy image. I need a picture of this one. Hold on. I can't lose it. This is the picture I'm looking for. That is going to go on the title card. Oh, goddamn. Is it so fucked up? After the show. Let's leave it. Yes. Let's go ahead and deflect a little bit. Let's get across to NASA. Now, remember NASA, not a space agency, never a straight answer. Now, everybody is going to everyone on X, right, has been focusing on the first half of this message. We'll listen to it. We'll pause it. But then we played this last night. I'm sure a lot of people from the show weren't there last night. But the reality of it is there's something going on here. There's something big going on here that new. There we go. I got the image. Let's get to QuickTime. Let's go ahead and rewind it to the beginning. Now, just for the spoiler ahead of time, Jared's going to go ahead and talk about the things that he knows nothing about. But then the Easter eggs get dropped. And also notice, I love Jared's new, if you want to call it, camouflage, Mike.
Yeah, for the ears. Yep.
I was wondering if he could get microphones that were big enough that could go ahead and give us the camouflage, but he found them. I believe they're Sony's. Maybe.
Oh, whatever brand, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it hides those
we love Sony. Sony's a
ears.
Japanese company, and apparently we're even stepping in to help the bank, the Bank of Japan from going under. Ryan, your hand has been up for a while. Before we get on to NASA.
Before you move on to the next story, I wanted to comment on the first story that you had. I don't want to stay on topic, but go ahead.
I got the image back up again.
Oh, I think that eventually we're going to hear about these these people that are have their NDAs. I think we're going to hear about that eventually. I think that what's going on is sort of like, I mean, people need to be patient. I mean, remember when the UAP task force was going on? We didn't hear about that while it was going. We didn't get all the details when that was going on. But once in the end, we heard about all that. So I think it's
really quick, Ryan. Would you agree that we got more out of the UAP task force in the short time they were around that we've gotten out of RO since it was created?
Oh, hell yeah! That's not even a question. But yeah, I think that we're going to hear about this. What I think is going on is that the Trump administration and Burleson and the Secrets Task Force, what have you, I think they're trying to get to the bottom of this first. They need to vet people, and they need to get the information. And eventually, I think we're going to hear about these people. They just can't come out right away. I mean, you got to vet them first, and you got to hear their stories. You can't just throw them out to the media right away. So everybody just be patient. I mean, take it from me. I suffered from TDS for a couple of days, but you got to put that away and throw it in the toilet.
I mean, you're true blue Washington State, and TDS runs really deep in the veins of people from this state. And I commend you, Ryan, for being able to see beyond it and understand, the greater picture of things.
Yeah, so I support Trump on this, because people need to just put that aside in the chat there. Just stop it, You want the truth or not? So I think this is a good thing with what's going on right now with this order that's come that you read first. I think we're going to hear about it eventually.
And don't forget, we had 4 years. Biden could have brought all this out, and Biden could have brought all this shit out from the Epstein files, right? If you wanted to.
Yeah,
but he didn't.
It's just Trump's not like that. He's his own people that are working in pursuit are not going to. And Michael was saying, well, I think that his own people that are in pursuit are not going to withhold this information from him. I mean, he's not going to.
No, hell no.
Because he's Trump. So, I'm not even and so I suffered from TDS for a couple, temporarily a small version every once in a while, but I'm willing to put that aside. So take me as an example in the audience.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
So let's take a jump over to NASA. Jared Isaacman, thank you very much. Ooh, I got a good sandwich here on, is that in croissant bread? Boy, nummy nummies. Okay, let's go ahead and play this as I shove a turkey sandwich in my mouth. Here we go. Can I talk at the same time? Probably not, but here we go.
Will tell you I have immense access and have been a seat at the table since the get-go on this. I have no information, no knowledge. I take a lie detector test on any crashed spaceships or bodies or biological organisms on this, but for sure.
Okay. No crash ships, no biologics. NASA has not been involved with it, which makes sense, right? I think so, Mike or Daryl. Okay. The sandwich to me will continue.
Sorry, man. I had my microphone muted, and it takes a while for my trackball to get all the way over from one screen to the other.
Yeah.
But yes, you are correct, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Thomas, absolutely.
We're gathering a lot of
100%.
data, and there is some unexplained.
Yeah, now listen, this is good, this clip you're playing, because he's going to reveal something that we've been waiting a long time to hear coming out of NASA.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I agree. So let's play the clip and see what he says.
Absolutely. For once, I've got food in my mouth, and it's not Mike.
That's right.
Just one more thing on the Nick show in the front chat. Dude, just stop it with the fucking TDS already. We don't care about your political opinion. Just shut up.
Okay. We were being nice.
Avi,
with Nick.
60 seconds. Start every time he does it, increment it higher. He's just 60 seconds now, go to the next level, then go to the next level every single time he acts out. Eventually, he'll be banned for a day. So here we go.
We're gathering a lot of data, and there is some unexplained anomalous phenomenon. And
we're gathering the data, and there is some
anomalous phenomenon, and we're
unexplained anomalous phenomena. That sounds like UAP, doesn't it, Daryl?
That's a mouthful.
It does to me. Yeah.
it out there as part of these disclosure efforts. I will tell you.
And they're going to get it out there as part of these disclosure efforts. So we've got NASA now admitting they have a bunch of data that's clearly representing a bunch of unexplained anomalous phenomena. And they're going to start getting it out there as part of Trump's pursuit.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. It's about fucking time NASA finally admitted they have fucking data. Thank God. How long have they been saying, nope, there's nothing out there. We don't know about anything. Remember, he went and actually did a take back after that one interview saying we don't have any data. There's nothing there. But apparently now it sounds like he's had the talking to by the president.
Apparently because they said those things on the moon look like they're solid objects that were in the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty big, acknowledgement from NASA.
Exactly. It's a step in the fucking right direction.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, turkey sandwich. That happens.
You're making everybody hungry, I can tell.
Sorry, folks.
Including me.
Mm-mm. Oh, it's turkey and Swiss and some onions and mayo and on a croissant-based bread to get at Costco. It's really good. But it's better
Luke
than...
made that for you?
Luke did.
That's what I need. I need a Luke. I'll give you the... You go to Costco. Make me a sandwich while I'm watching the show.
Yeah. Every Robinson Crusoe needs a sidekick. How about that? So,
Robinson Crusoe.
Good news coming from there. God, if I can find QuickTime and if I can go to File Open Recent. All right. Now, for anyone who's lived under a log and they haven't seen this, this whole week was deader than a doornail until UAP GERB came out and alleged a whole bunch of false information coming from someone who we really, really like in disclosure potentially has been influencing him. GERB's from Denver. Just put the dots together, folks, if you know what I'm talking about. And there's been some information, there's a bunch of disinfo being spread about Lou, and he isn't taking shit anymore. Usually Lou just takes with anything that goes on. He takes that information, he goes along with it, and he doesn't say anything. But from a man who is now moving to Washington, D.C. to go ahead and work on disclosure full time, right? No, we're not going to bring out My Boy Friday. Sorry. It's good. No onions, though. Yeah, what happened? Are we out? I got you. Well, onions always go good along with mustard on grilled cheese sandwich, so here we go.
Howdy, folks. Lou here. As you can tell, I'm in my pickup truck, and I'm hauling, what you can't see is a substantially long trailer, almost 50-foot flatbed. For those of you who might not know, I have made a permanent move to the Washington, D.C. area. and I'm still in the process of collecting my things and my items, but I am there as disclosure is a full-time commitment for myself. I'd like to discuss with
Jesus Christ. So Disclosure, he's moving to D.C. The truck that he was hauling out there, he's hauling back with the trailer, contained his 2 Jeeps, like from old wars, and his motorcycles. Probably including the one that he dumped and almost died with when he avoided those deer that were put in place by the CIA deep state to go ahead and kill him.
Mm-hmm. Putting the salt licks all up and down the highway. Come on.
Yeah, I know. In the middle of the fucking highway.
A few things for these short moments. Forgive me, I am at a rest stop right now, so I'm not driving, but I do have to get back on the road. I would like to talk about the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement, that everybody thinks that the president has just somehow magically waived, and now we don't have an NDA anymore. It is true that the president signed a...
And I have to say, this is the most realistic view of this. There's a lot of people out there who are trying to push this in other directions. I mean, if we could ever consider Lou balanced and centered on this, like Fox News claims they are, they're not. This is actually Lou's opinion on this, and it's on fucking target. So here we go.
It is true that the president signed a presidential directive that has not been yet made public, so we don't know exactly what's in there. And I applaud that effort. I think it's fantastic. It's a great move forward. The problem is it doesn't alleviate us from our NDAs. What it does, it alleviates us from our NDAs from discussing this conversation about UAP with none other than who? Arrow, which, as you know, I already did. Spoke several times with Arrow. And unfortunately, at the time, Sean Kirkpatrick, the former director, didn't do a whole lot of good with that. Secondly, we can also talk to Pursue, which I may already be talking to elements of Pursue. But unfortunately, it has not alleviated my...
I may be talking to elements of Pursue. It sounds like he's saying he is talking to elements of Pursue, but he cannot confirm nor deny. Hey, Daryl?
Right. The governance board is a secret board, so that'd be interesting if Lou is going to be on that board.
We'll find out. Time will tell. And
honestly,
he'll be
here.
People
Wednesday,
have said we've
right?
got to ask him that question on Wednesday, but I can already tell you, folks, he's not going to answer it because he can't.
To speak to the general public, and this is why it's important that the U.S. government really push hard to continue to pass legislation so folks like myself, the whistleblowers, can come forward and have that conversation, not just internally within the U.S. government, but with you specifically. And so it's important for several reasons, because really there's a lot of confusion right now that, oh, Lou, you don't have an NDA anymore. You can say whatever you want. That's not true. I am still held by my secrecy oath, and until the government gives me the ability to speak openly about it, I can only go through 2 channels, either Arrow, which I wasn't overly impressed with the first time, and neither were my colleagues, and I don't think Congress was either, or Pursue. And like I said, I might already be talking to some individuals there, either directly or indirectly. The second issue was brought to my attention that there was a interview done very recently on Ross Coulthard's Reality Check show under the News Nation moniker. And they had a guest on there that spoke really some incredible outlandish claims that are 180 degrees false and they're just not factual. And so what I want to do is
Daryl here really quick. Gerb was fed disinfo by someone a lot of people in the UAP community put up on a fucking pedestal, and that's all I can say.
Real quick. And why is that? Because in this process of disclosure, there are people out there that are trying to hijack and derail this conversation by feeding you false information. People who claim to be on the inside, who know information, they don't. And they're saying things, frankly, I can only suspect for clicks and likes. So please be careful of that. First and foremost, one of the allegations was that ATIP was a limited hangout. Well, let's not forget that in 2009, Senator Harry Reid himself, who was the chairperson for the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence for the U.S. Senate, that was his program. That was his.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Someone let a troll into the back.
Yep, I just came in now. Yeah, David Grush.
David Grush. David, welcome, my friend. How are you? Can we hear your voice? Or are you just the same schmuck who's been in the chat as Avi Loeb and came in the back as Susan Goff?
No.
They're chicken.
Did he leave?
Oh, he's just being a chicken. He won't say nothing.
No. Goodbye.
Oh, okay.
What do you want to do there? No.
He could have totally redeemed himself by just.
Well, I'll give him a chance. Something. Come on, David. You're in the back. You said is this DC Muscle Wolf hiding as David Grush? Ooh. Is it Red Panda Koala or what do you call it? Chupacabra, who's actually been fighting for the lead of the Buffet King coming from Golden Corral. Which is it? Come on.
Oh, they turned their camera on. They're starting to get brave.
Anything? Are they there?
Might be trying to unmute his mic. Oh, no. Oh, wait. Oh, almost.
But they're on the small side.
Well, that's what she said.
A friend of mine's working on his BMW M8 Competition.
4, 3, 2, 1. Remove from call. Block from this call. Fill out an abuse report saying impersonation.
It's all right, man. I used to get scared to unmute myself and talk in front of people too, man.
Or I don't know.
Abuse type, harassment or unwanted or hateful content, impersonation of a person of, I don't know, TIRAITY, notoriety. Spell it right. There we go. Report. Goodbye. We give him a chance to talk, but if he wants to be that way, fine. Goodbye.
What if he can't? What if he couldn't talk?
What if he was too shy?
If it was David Grush, I've talked to David Grush many times in the past before, so let's get back to
Lou.
Here we go.
Paid for with U.S. taxpayer money, and he even sent a letter in 2009, official memo to the Deputy Secretary of Defense, Lynn, at the time. So if this was a limited hangout that was being paid by U.S. government taxpayer money, then by default you're saying that the sissy itself is a limited hangout, and by extension the U.S. Congress and even the U.S. government. So that simply doesn't make sense. It's factually not correct. It's not true. Not sure where this individual's getting their information, but they're not getting it from people who actually know. Another allegation.
And it may be from someone who's in there on the disclosure scene who wants to get the position Lou is going for, and he's feeding the information because he lives so close to Gerb. Just saying. In that kind of a manner, when you have a person-to-person conversation, maybe when someone's a bartender even, pass on the info over a couple drinks.
That was made during this interview was that somehow General Clapper and I had colluded with one another to try to go ahead and create this soft disclosure, and that we were going to go ahead and manage it and control it. That is 1,000% not accurate. In fact, we never had such a conversation, and Jim Clapper and I never meant to have that conversation. So again, it's factually not.
Okay, Lou is saying these things, Daryl. And as he's saying it and going through it, if he goes ahead and lies about the situation, right, it puts his security clearance at risk. So fuck anybody else like Gerb who's talking about this stuff and they're saying about this about Lou. If Lou's getting out here and pushing back, right, and he's telling the truth, he won't lose his security clearance. Does that make sense, Daryl?
Yes, what you described makes sense, but I'm sure that there are some alternate views of all that may be running through people's minds. But I don't think Lou is going to be out here lying about this stuff. I could not saying it from anything that he said. I'm saying it from how he acted. To me, it was like a natural guttural, like, I'm not a liar, you motherfucker reaction.
I know, but he's saying I'm not a liar, and he's putting it out there in public. And if he lied about not being a liar, his security clearance would be yanked 100%.
Unless he was being paid to lie. That's the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the case, but you know,
we could say that potentially about the source who's been feeding information to Gerb.
Yes. And
yes,
I've had my doubts
yes.
about that source. I've had my doubts about that source.
Yeah. Well, geology doesn't lie, does it?
Not usually, because
no, it doesn't.
It's not a living thing.
Joseph, Elevator NYC elevator guy Joseph, what say you? I gave you up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. I'm thinking that since Grush gave Coulthard the interview of the century, really, maybe that's why Coulthard has gotten on Lou also.
Oh, because he could be tied into that person potentially.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Then when you think about history, absolutely 100 billion %.
Yes.
Son of a bitch, you know more than whether the elevator should go up or down. Thank you, Joseph. But you know what? I got to ask the question for everybody out there. Is the close button purposely fucking turned off so it never works?
No, let me explain that. There is an American Disabilities Act that applies to the elevators. The door close button cannot bypass a minimum time set by the local authority so that a person in a wheelchair or someone with a cane or someone who's deaf or blind can make it into the elevator.
But if they make it in and they press the button of where they want to go, right?
Right.
That can trigger the door to close.
Yes, it can.
Yes.
Several. It would be several.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just thought I'd note that Mike Disclosure dropped out of the back for some reason. I don't know if he had a phone.
Probably family issues going on. I appreciate that info. We got Daryl here, don't we, Daryl?
Nope.
And we got Ryan.
Not here.
Everybody. Yahalda, you're here. I'm here. Where's that at?
I'm here.
Oh, God.
I'm here. Let the bells ring out and the banners fly. Feast your eyes on me. It's too good to be true, but...
Yeah. And I've had this like for a year before you show. Well, when you were still in the chat, but it ties to you so well.
Yeah, I love that. I love Jim Bacchus.
Oh, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, got to have fun with it. Not in that manner.
Doc 5758. That's Thurston Howell III's voice, Jim Bacchus.
Yes, gotta love Mr. Howell. From Gilligan's Island, if people don't know where he's from, but yes.
Right.
Oh, Lovey. Love always how he called his wife.
Oh, Lovey.
And the problem is that you have an individual here who is sensationalizing stuff and making stuff up, quite frankly,
But Gerb may not be making this stuff up. This information that's being fed to him is the poison pill to attack Lou. And I never thought we'd ever be talking about this, but it seems to be true.
Yeah, I think there may be some truth to the whole, it's not going to be called a czar because that would be dumb, but there is some truth to this position that's being sought after, I believe, in Washington, D.C.
It could be. But remember, anyone who would get into the job to be part of this executive administration, as soon as the new administration goes away, what happens to that individual? Poof, they're gone.
If they're appointed, yeah.
If they're appointed and part of the executive branch. So we're not sure where this is all going to go, but we'll find out in time. And we can even ask those questions, even though we may not get an answer. On Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, Lou Elizondo will be here, folks. Live interviews, send in your super chats, send in your questions. We'll get it there. We'll have a fun time. I know we're going a half an hour earlier than usual. I know Mike wanted to have it come in half an hour earlier so we could have a conversation with Luba ahead of time. But as I told Mike today, fuck that. This is for the audience. We can have a call with Lou whenever we want, literally. But the truth of the matter is I want this to be Lou's platform live to be able to interact with the audience and interact with what's going on and to spread the truth. Now, that doesn't mean, the trolls will be here, but those who behave, will be part of the conversation, and that's what we need. It needs to be an open table conversation live here on Disclosure Tonight to get Lou's point of view. And you don't have to pay even to go ahead and listen to him with someone like Marathon Running Camp on stage. He'll be here live on YouTube. I know Vinny's cutting a tape with him on Monday, and that'll be out. But the thing is, there's nothing like a live broadcast, is there, Daryl?
Nope, and nobody else does it like we do it. That's for sure.
We've got to have a fun time. We love it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So let's continue. Here we go.
Who has ulterior motives? That's deceiving you. And furthermore, they're getting attention on a national news network that, by the way, I respect, and that's always been a friend of disclosure, and now manipulating them and providing false information to their audience to the point where they're like a tabloid.
Yes, Ross's show is turned into a tabloid. Is Mikey back, or is he still gone? He's still gone. But if you look at stuff that goes on with Andrew Cuomo was a Lou guy. And I don't think Andrew Cuomo, even the other newscasters on News Nation, are going to follow Roscoe down that rabbit hole.
Oh, Roscoe.
Oh, yeah.
Roscoe P.
Mike
Coltrane.
likes to call Ross Roscoe, but...
Who was Roscoe P. Coltrane? Was that Roscoe P. Coltrane?
Oh, my God. That was...
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. That was the cop. Q.
I can't laugh like you did, but yeah, that hick sort of laugh.
Roscoe P. Coltart.
Yes. But I have followed recently, but there's not just a producer, Megan, there's also an executive producer who's a part of that show. I followed him recently. I've been doing some research. Also into Rob Jones, interesting person who's been like buddy with Gerb going back for a very long time. Interesting times to see where this is all going to go, friends. Absolutely. You have to look at all the actors and all the people who are involved. How does someone get into a position? Where's the information coming from? Who elevates them in different areas? It's just, you can't ignore what's really going on. Here we go.
And I think this is problematic. If you want to know why I've always said I want to destroy ufology and replace it with something better, this is why. Because of bad actors like this, people who come out, they're just interested in clicks and likes, they're only interested in manufactured and false drama, and they're going about doing things that are actually putting disclosure further back than where...
But I think actually what Lou's missing here, it's not about clicks and likes. It's about delivering a poison pill that attacks Lou. That's what they're going for, at least, in my opinion.
Well, and my opinion is that, that Gerb is being played. He's a useful idiot in the whole operation. And it's probably between the guy that we're not talking about and Ross Coulthart.
Yeah. All right. I need to turn that off. Please, Elf, you've joined the back. Don't be too drunk. Let's continue on before we get to Elf or anybody else. Let's continue on with Lou. Here we go.
And this is a problem. I'll share something else with you, too, another anecdote about to show you the character of this individual. Recently, as a month ago, I attended a function in Washington, D.C. This individual happened to be there.
Yes,
I didn't know who he was, but I saw a circle of people surrounding him, and they were berating him. I worried for his safety to some degree, and maybe figured he was getting picked on, and walked over and interjected. And as I pulled him away, I was told, hey, that's the guy that's been talking crap about everybody and been making things up. So I pulled him aside, and I said, hey, look, these people are obviously pretty upset with you. If you have any questions in the future, here's my personal cell phone number. Now, this went against my better judgment, but I did it anyways. As you all know, I'm very open and transparent.
Okay. He's very open and transparent and gave out his cell phone number, right?
Yep.
Find it. I want desk pictures. I want pictures. Where the fuck is that? Lou, on my request, called Corporal Abe this morning. Corporal Abe, as you know, has been going through he had his colon removed. He has cancer and everything. He was in the Army, and then he was in the Navy. And Lou took the time out of his schedule driving across the country to give Abe a call in a hospital, to give him a lift up, to give him a hope what's going on. And I really thank Lou for going ahead and doing that, because he doesn't have to do that. But he did it because he recognized another veteran going through hell, probably from the exposures they had in the hospital. This is the kind of guy that Lou is. I mean, I had Abe call me this morning after the call with Lou, freaking almost crying, so thankful for Lou calling him and trying to connect with him and trying to get it there. And it's just, it shows you this is the kind of guy Lou is. He's not in it for, just the short term. He's in it for the long term. And when there are fellow veterans, and this is a true story, yeah, folks, that are in a situation and, that little bit of a phone call, the knowledge of the phone call is going to get there, can lift up your spirits to make you want to fight through on this stuff. And it's wonderful that he did that.
He said the Elizondo call definitely was a major highlight in life, dude.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm so happy that happened. I was able to connect Lou with David to go ahead and get that there. So again, for those who want to demonize Lou, this is the kind of altruistic guy that he is. Seriously, this isn't going out there to go ahead and say, oh my God, this guy is horrible and everything. No, he has a heart and he really wants to help people. He wants to help humanity. But remember, he's a patriot first and foremost, and we're only going to get to see so much. So, on that one, let's get back to Lou talking about this.
Said, look, if you ever have any questions, please give me a call. And obviously, he looked at me. He had, to me, it looked like tears in his eyes. And he looked at me and said, oh, okay, sir, yes, I promise I'll do that. I'll make sure that I call you if I have any questions in the future, and I won't do that. And just start spewing off of garbage. And I don't know, it's good. I appreciate that. We can be friends. I'm happy to, whether you agree with me or not, I'm happy to give you information. Just reach out to me and I can clarify stuff. Well, guess what? A month later, he goes on a network television.
All right. Lou didn't know this. It's something we've learned since then. All the footage of Gerb that was cut, that just came out, if you want to call it, moments after Lou had the conversation with him. Maybe that's why Gerb looked the way that it was going on when he was talking about some of the stuff. I don't know, but the truth of the matter is the Gerb footage wasn't cut yesterday. Apparently, right after that disclosure conference that happened, there was pictures of Gerb in the waiting room at News Nation, and they've cut enough footage to last 2 months of content. We'll see where it goes.
Series and start spewing off more crap that was completely wrong. He never called me once, right? So what kind of due diligence, investigative type skill set does it require just to go out and make up stuff about people, right? And this is why we're having a problem. If you want to know what's wrong with the UFO community, you have people out there, and by the way, yes, I'm addressing you who lied, to look in the mirror. You're the reason why we're having
Keyway DJ. You like to hear Gerb's side of the story. I'd like to hear not just his side of the story, but whom is giving us this information. And is there a reason that they're giving this information to Gerb to poison the pill so Lou doesn't get the job and Grush gets the job? But the thing is, you know what? In disclosure, there should be a big enough, amount of things to deal with. You shouldn't have to poison a pill against someone to get the job, and you can be part of the team as well, unless you've done something that precludes you from being part of the team that we just don't know about. Syrup, your hand is up if we can.
Oh, I was just going to say, I was reading on Twitter some of the comments about Lou, and they're saying, oh, Lou's crashing out on this video. He's losing his mind or whatever. And I think it's just kind of funny. Like, this isn't even a crash out. It's almost like some of these people have never seen like a real crash out, a real physical or verbal altercation before. I think it's kind of soft, and some of these people are real fragile if they're going to consider this a crash out. I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that, my friend. Let's get on to Sapphire Elf. Elf, I'll let you in. Don't disappoint me, please. Oh, you got the hat. No glow sticks.
I was just wondering about government spooks for a while. And why is it now that everyone wants disclosure from the government when for 20 and 40 years we've all been saying they're lying and they're full of shit? Why are people running around with cops and flop cameras now flagging you like fucking Kelly? I'm going to be back tomorrow with a different account. I'll troll the fuck out of Kelly, you, Metal Gaming, and the rest of yous. Good night.
All right. Thank you, Alf. We love you.
Have a great one.
He's going to troll you, Kelly, and you're from Team Blue. And us, and Avi, and everybody else. My goodness.
He's wielding the sword of anonymity. I will come back as somebody else.
He's got the jester hat on even. Did he leave too when he stopped saying that?
Oh, I thought you kicked him out.
No, I didn't. He left on his own.
Yeah, no,
he left. He was the one that was trolling. He was Silver or whatever he was. Yeah, I got the vibes of Elf there. Hello, Elf, if you're still in the chat there, yeah.
You know, I like the old Elf with the glow sticks and everything that was there. The one with the jester hat covering his eyes. Not as good as what had gone on, but Kelly, we love you, my friend. Even though you're Team Blue, I'm Team Purple because I'm in between everything. And granted, I'm not a Republican, trust me. But I have to say, I like Trump for what he's been doing. Leave it at that.
I think Elf is pretty funny sometimes, and I don't mind going back and forth with him. I don't know why he dipped. Hopefully he jumps in the back and we can have a back and forth later.
After the show, that'd be wonderful. Yeah.
He's always welcome if he's half decent. Don't need to be a prick.
As long as he's not naked and as long as he's not overly drunk where he can't control himself, he can have some fun stuff sometimes.
Yeah, we have fun with Elf. He's great fun when he's
been around for Andy is almost as long as you've been around.
Yeah. I don't mind having Elf about as long as he's decent with people, that's all I ask of him. And if he's decent with me, I'll be decent with him. And the same with anybody in here. I'm Avi, I thought I was actually quite unforgiving in life. Our friend Avi in the front chat, I'm his Darth Vader to his Palpatine. I really am. But you don't have to get nasty with people in here, We're all here for a reason, I hope.
And Avi, remember, you are our top mod for what you do. Remember, Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. That'd be 5:30 a.m. India time. I know it's going to be a little bit hard for you, but can't wait to have you there to go ahead and shut down the trolls. Because the trolls are going to be in fucking pure form on frickin' Wednesday.
I'll be here, but unfortunately I'm working. So I'll try my level best if I don't get caught by my management.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's play.
I sell very close to the win most of the time.
Well, you have a job Thomas? Like a lot of us do.
What is Wednesday?
That's when Lou's coming on.
Oh man, I missed the memo. That's awesome.
Well, sorry, he was going to come on Friday for Friday Night Disclosure. And then we push it to Saturday so we could get more people. But then Lou pushed us back. Let's do it earlier. Let's do it on Wednesday. So we got Lou on Wednesday. Hump Day with Lou Elizondo. It'll be good. It'll be fun.
This problem with disclosure. You're the reason why people don't take this topic seriously. And frankly, you should be ashamed of yourself. I know I'm ashamed for what you did. You should be embarrassed. And the fact that you're talking to people and claiming you have access to stuff you don't, I don't ever remember you in any of the meetings that I was at the Pentagon or at ATIP, quite frankly. In fact, if you want inside information, going to talk to somebody and saying you have an inside source, as far as I'm concerned, that's called gossip. That's not information.
Oh, so if he's talking to someone who was part of those meetings, it's gossip because he wasn't there. And it's someone who's taking and spinning the information as an attack on Lou. God, I never thought we'd be here, but it's obvious. Daryl, your thoughts?
Die. I don't know. I don't think I can. I'm allowed to say what I want to say, but
okay. Well, say what you want to say without divulging what you want to say.
I think that I'll just repeat myself. Gerb is a useful idiot. And unfortunately, I know he's liked by a lot of people, probably a lot of people in the chat.
I even like him for some of the stuff he's bringing out.
But he's being used. He's being used in this case.
He's being used and abused.
He's the patsy.
Unfortunately.
And secondly, I think it's also important to say that as you continue to disparage and provide false information, remember there's real consequences. There are real consequences for your actions and what you are doing. And I would not want to be you right now, because when this all comes out that you're just BSing, I think there's going to be a price to pay. So anyways, folks, I hope you're well. I didn't want to address this. You know, I hate having to do this because all it does is goad people and more people to want to have conversations. I'm in the middle of a drive across country. Last thing I need to do is, deal with this headache. But I think it's important enough to address it and address it head on and let you know the truth. I've always been committed to the truth. Hopefully most of you know that by practice. And be wary, be very careful of people who are trying to paint a false narrative and then try to get attention for it. Very, very disingenuous, So here I am, folks, once again. And Ross, that goes for you, man. I love you, buddy, but you have my phone number. You can call me anytime, you know that. So if you have any questions of who...
Really quick, for those who are listening, if you've got speakers and you've got subwoofers going in the background like I do, you can hear that Chevy V8 or the GM V8 just purring in the background as he's talking about this stuff.
Or what I'm doing, that's never stopped you before from calling me. Just give me a shout. We have to be careful with media here, especially News Nation, who's a friend to Disclosure. They've got a reputation. A lot of people listen to them. So we've really got to do our due diligence in making sure that the information that is being provided is accurate. And I do appreciate what you're doing, Ross. But please, for the love of God, be more careful with who you decide to have on your program.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I don't really think that was Ross's intention, was to be careful. I think Ross's intention was to do more tabloid journalism, as Mike was saying. So I think he played right into it.
He did. As far as Lou playing into it, or Gerb?
No, Gerb's playing into it.
Right. So coming in from Professor Avi Loeb, also known as Avi Loeb on Disclosure Tonight, he said UAP disclosure is no longer optional. Our cosmic neighbors will not go away if we keep UAP knowledge secret. The fundamental question remains, is there any indisputable evidence for alien tech? We all deserve to know one way or the other. And actually, I have to. God, fuck. Am I saying this? Son of a bitch. Avi Loeb is actually making sense for once. I know it's happening, of course. Disclosure, it's another one today. Let's look for, what the fuck is that? Every time UFO nerds, oh God, that's from Red Panda Koala. Let's get back to it. Let me find out what's going on before I get to my bookmarks on stuff. Where are we at? Oh my God. I can't believe that.
Ladies' night.
I
and
cannot play this.
Right.
Well, I can play it without the audio. You want to see it, Daryl?
Yeah, I love Ladies' Night.
There you go.
Oh no! Wait a minute. Wrong.
There you go.
Oh boy.
This is not where Disclosure needs to go. I think this is maybe why the aliens are staying away from us. My God.
Yeah, for that reason and many more. Yeah.
Well, Daryl, you asked for it, my friend.
Too drunk to fish.
Yeah. Oh. So Elon Musk made a statement. Elon Musk made a statement that I don't think people picked up. And recently it's been Reshared for everybody. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's get to it. That's the statement that too many people on YouTube say all the time. So, Daryl, national security first.
Okay, good.
Which is something that most people on YouTube don't say. There we go. Here we go.
Right.
For our next disclosure night, Friday night disclosure, we have to have a couple drinks glasses on there. There we go. So, FSD 10 predicts full service driving height and video pixels directly without needing to classify groups of pixels of objects, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I'm not saying there's UFOs, but there are UFOs.
Well, maybe he's talking, that's just, yeah, okay. Shit you don't know about. But what? September 13th, 2021?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
They found it. They found the tweet. Remember, come on, we got Jarek Isaacman, who is like Trump's. I mean, not Trump's. He's Elon's guy, who clearly was looked over for the job of running NASA because of his ears, just like Trump didn't like Bolton because of the huge mustache. He probably didn't like the ears. He said, no way am I going to have that person represent NASA. But then we got the guy from NASA again saying.
But for sure, we're gathering a lot of data, and there is some unexplained anomalous phenomenon, and we're putting it out there as part of these disclosure efforts.
So that's Elon's guy, isn't it, Daryl?
That is Elon's guy. Yes, he's a very, very staunch advocate of this guy.
Right. Dun, dun, dun. So Elon does know something. He says there's nothing out there. Otherwise, it would have, it hasn't collided with our satellites. It's like what Jared was saying at the beginning of this.
Tell you, I have immense access and have been a seat at the table since the get-go on this. I have no information, no knowledge. I take a lie detector test on any crashed spaceships or bodies or biological organisms on this.
So, no, he hasn't seen any data for crash ships, bodies, or biologics. But we've got more stuff out there that's coming our way. That's actually a good shot of him. I need to get this one. I've been looking for the good shot. It's hard to find it because his hands are like waving all over the place all the time. I would have put him on the title card like I did with Jeremy Corbell, but either way, I love the new camouflage. It works wonderfully. Where the fuck was I? All right, so we've got that one there. Let's get out of Elon Musk saying this stuff. Let's get back to interview guest. And I'm just going through Twitter Live to see now because this isn't like our normal Saturday. Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to kick back to Lou and give a personal perspective. Tankeda, I just messaged them. I apologize to him. I don't know if they're male or female. Right. The likes of Lou Elizondo, the likes of Rick Doty, what people really, really seem to forget. Now, I have a friend who I work with who was ex-British military intelligence. He's an ex-policeman. So basically, he, in the UK, followed almost what Rick Doty did. Okay, he's now a postman, the job that I do. When you leave the military, you leave the military. People really, really get hung up that the likes of Rick, the likes of Lou, with Rick, they get all hung up on the Paul Benowitz. What happened with Paul Benowitz? Now, if they actually did their research, he died about 15 years after Rick had anything to do with the guy. I think this is really important for people to understand. When these people leave their positions when they're in the military, they leave the military. My friend in work, he comes up to me, and he's an experiencer. He was sailing, I believe he was sailing across the Atlantic when he was in the military, and he came across some unusual lights. He was on a sailing boat, and he was the only one at the helm. And there were these unusual lights. He's been on the previous
Unlike the usual lights that are coming across the channel right now filled with migrants.
Yeah. But I just wanted to say, he might have contacts with his friends who are still in the military and might be in intelligence. They're not going to tell him anything. When you leave these forms of service, you leave. You're not part of those, intelligence circles anymore. It is genuine. You know, he comes up to me, he says, "Oh, Andy, I can feel myself getting more stupid as the time goes by, but I'm in this job." You know,
all right.
So, you know, Rick went on to become a police officer. Rick was a police officer. He was not in the military. He left the military. He left all of those things behind. It's, you know, this is what people seem to miss out. And the same with Lou. Lou left the military. Once you leave the military, you're not in those circles anymore. You're not privy to the information that you might have been privy to before. You know, I just thought it's kind of riling me over
Unless
the period.
there's someone there who's still feeding the information after you've left.
If you're being fed the information, and technically you're potentially, you know, whatever secrets, you know, here in the UK we have the Official Secrets Act, whatever Lou would have signed up to in the military, you know, he could be in trouble if he gets found that somebody's feeding him misinformation. And I'm not saying it's happening, by the way, to all the trolls out there. But again, with my friend,
talking about a troll against Trump, just hold on 1 second, Andy. I just need to bring this up because it's right here, and I cannot ignore it really quick. You know, Natalie Maines of the Dixie Chicks recently called Trump a fugly slut. Oh my God, is that projection of what she really is? I don't know, but go ahead, Andy.
Hey, it takes one to know one, and the old saying. But yeah, I really want all these people who get so het up and get their heads up their asses on this channel in chat to realize that when you leave the military, that's it. You are no longer privy to information. And if you get information, those who are feeding you with that information could be in jeopardy of the whatever criminal, you know, laws that are held, you know, and you know, Rick, I like Rick Doty because I've spoken to the guy in the back. He was really, really kind with his time in the back, people. But what happened with him and Paul Benowitz happened, you know, Benowitz died, I think it was 15 years after Rick had his dealings with him. So for all those people who want to keep on spouting on about people like Rick and people like Lou, you know, that is the crux of the thing here. That is the thing you really need to think about. You know, it's just been riling me up for a little while where, you know, we get so many trolls. I've never spoken to Lou. I have no connection with Lou whatsoever, but I'm willing to give the guy a chance because he served his time. He did what he was ordered to do. You know, it's a really great job prospect if you got to your senior commander or whoever's off, you know, ordering you to do a job and say, "Oh, I don't hold we're doing that." You're not going to go very far. You know, that's your job prospect.
Well, clearly not as far as this dog who's on a one wheelie and having a fun time.
Yeah, bloody good to him, yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's really important for people to actually understand, not get head up and follow all the bullshit that's actually out there. You need to, you know, actually have some consideration. And don't just...
You need to have an open mind and not come at this from any kind of derangement syndrome, any kind of, if you want to call it predisposed, if you want to call it thought pattern you may be going towards, right? And just approach it as we want to know, we want to get to the answer, leave all of our bias off to the side, and we'll get there.
Yeah, I really, you know, I'm going to say this. I do not give a shit what your president does because he's America's president. He's not mine.
Yeah, but we pay attention to what's going on in the UK, just saying. We love you, my friend.
Yeah, we've got enough problems with the jokers over in this country. But, and as Kelly in here, we know what Kelly doesn't like Trump at all, but I'm sure she would agree with me that she would give him a little bit of kudos if he actually did bring out disclosure.
Yeah.
You know, you need to put your hatred of these people aside. Let them do what they're doing at the moment. And in 6 months, a year's time, if they don't come through with whatever, then hold their nose to the grindstone. And I see our good friend El Pupo's in tonight as well.
He just joined us, really?
He's just joined us, yes.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Before we El Pupo, really quick, Nick, your hand is up when we get to El Pupo next.
Like he looks like a goblin, like Thomas.
I mean, the one I had up that was like taking It's Bad and putting Mitch McConnell on the face. What am I talking about? Let's get to it. Here we go.
Yeah, like you look like a goblin. I know what you're talking about. That
Mitch McConnell. What's up with Mitch? Daryl, that sounds like a survey for our audience. Only 255 people hanging out right now, but along those lines of bad, it's bad. El Pupo, welcome, my friend. Happy Saturday.
Hey, happy Saturday, everybody. How's it going? Just got home from work. How you guys all doing?
Oh, going pretty well. Just going over the whole situation with Lou, of course, and recapping for the audience, because this is our UK show that we handle for our audience. But we were talking about earlier today the overall document that came out from the principal director of national intelligence regards to the, rescinding of the NDAs that current or former federal employees or contractors have the ability to come forward to talk to pursue, even if the documents said that they weren't even able to go ahead and declassify this to the President of the United States. He's waiving all of that documentation.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm definitely pro that. I gave my little caveat earlier. I said, don't go to Arrow, go to Pursue or Congress.
Yeah.
and I linked the Sandcorp contract that they had a couple years back. That's probably still active, but that's huge. In my opinion, any movement coming out of Congress or the executive branch for UAP is huge. People are talking about it again. This is good. So that's awesome.
I just wonder when are they going to announce who that's the big part, Thomas. When are they going to announce who's the members?
I don't know if we'll ever know who the people are. Honestly.
You don't think they'll ever know?
We might know eventually, but when, who knows? I guess if we can go ahead and find out eventually who were these people, what were they involved in, but right now, am I complaining about the quality of what we're getting? Yeah, it's not the best we can, but they're working on improving it and giving us multiple levels of signal intelligence that goes along with every video that they propose. And if we start getting to that and they start going back to the first videos they've produced and retroactively improving the quality and giving us additional data, I think that's what we all want, isn't it?
Yeah, basically what we want.
Yeah. Thomas, I have a poll about Mitch McConnell.
All right, let's go ahead and go for it, my friend. Shoot it.
There it goes.
By that sound effects, friends, that means, yes, we've got a survey going on here on Disclosure Tonight. You don't have to even be a subscriber of Disclosure Tonight. I found out to go ahead and give us your thoughts. Please do. Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute and 30 seconds, please.
All right, 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Sorry. Now, all right, so far, coming from the audience, Mitch McConnell is alive, he's dead, or he is a turtle. So far, 50% of our audience, 55% of our audience is saying he's still a turtle. Does that mean he's alive or dead if he's a turtle?
Yeah, he's alive. He's a live turtle.
Does he mean things go ahead and scare him and he pops back into his shell? Like a turtle?
I don't know, Thomas.
Is he a box turtle or like a painted turtle? A box turtle can go ahead and close up all their areas to protect themselves because they're more land-based.
I think if you show a picture of Mitch McConnell, it'd be pretty obvious he's a turtle.
God, but who was that?
Sure
but there was that other guy who was an announcer on Fox News. I forget his name. He had black hair, and he was also paralyzed, and all people called him a turtle too.
Judge Napolitano?
No, no.
Isn't he in a wheelchair?
No. It could have been. We'll have to find out from the audience. All right, we got 25 seconds left, and so far the audience is pegged on Mitch McConnell as a turtle. Coming in second place, he is dead, alive. You could say... all right, I guess we have to get into it. Animal, mineral, or vegetable? Or human? Oh, God, yeah. All right. Well, audience, appreciate it. 55% of our audience has said Mitch McConnell is a turtle, but he was a turtle before then. You know, he could be alive, but he's not,
alive.
Is he really with it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Turn off the sound effects. I can hear them now, my friends. There we go. What a day. Let's get back to the interview. Guest large. Let's find out where the hell I was at. You know, I actually had a bunch of bookmarks today, and I haven't gone through them yet. So this is our opportunity to go ahead and find out what's been going on in the pulse of disclosure. All right, let's get to it. I'm sorry I said that again. I have it. I need to stop it. All right, so we got Trump with there. We've got the documents from the ODNI. Okay, this is interesting. Jim Himes, who's the top Democrat of the House Intelligence Committee, appeared unfamiliar with the UAP Disclosure Act inclusion in the House passed Non-Disclosure Authorization Act, said that the legislation was not discussed during the House Intelligence Committee negotiations. Jim Himes said he has reviewed nearly all classified programs relevant to UAPs, but has not reviewed the Pentagon's recent release of declassified UFO videos and documents, although he promised to examine them. We're talking about all of May, all of June, and all of July. He's had 3 fucking months to look at any of the stuff that's come out in the government declassification effort under Pursue, and he hasn't looked to anything.
Now, who's this guy?
Jim Himes.
Sorry, my dog's butt.
He's a top Democrat, Jim Himes.
On the House
Intelligence Committee, the House of Representatives, and he hasn't looked at shit.
This is the problem with politicians, man. They only pay attention to the things they know that their constituents are paying attention to.
You know, and I have to say, I didn't say it last night, but I thought it. I wonder if Tim Gallaudet has ever considered running for public office, because he has the double speak that's there to talk about something and not actually talk about anything and actually answer the question like a politician would have. I love the guy, but just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. He has a little TDS as well, but that's okay.
Yeah. All right. So Burleson, Soul Foundation, Avi Loeb are all saying this is a really good thing, with Loeb adding disclosure of info related to UAP is no longer an option for former or current government employees. Then we have son of Abra Hamlin, who is Matthew Brown, one of the younger whistleblowers. He hasn't turned gray yet. He hasn't had to go ahead and take his family and move in a travel trailer and live in a rat-infested aircraft hangar. No, not there yet. Maybe that'll change his mind. All right, so Jeremy Corbell is there. All right. All right. Ensure the workforce is aware. This is talking about Burleson's tweet that he put out that had the documents from ODNI. Ensure the workforce is aware of any previous or existing UAP NDAs prohibiting disclosure to the president are no longer in force. He said, this is an extraordinary mission from the ODNI. No, I think the guy in the ODNI used to be from the CIA, and he doesn't like the president. But he's saying this because the president's saying it. Now he's saying illegal UAP NDAs exist, and they were specifically written to prevent the lawfully elected president of the United States from accessing information held with the government. So if the president of the United States is saying, give me the information, I'm the fucking president. Even if there are agreements to say you cannot bring them to that point, but he's saying, but this still does not free whistleblowers to speak to Congress or the American people. Yeah. Do you expect more? If we're talking about stuff that should be talked about in the skiff, stuff that maybe shouldn't be declassified, maybe stuff that shouldn't be talked about. I know we all want it. Everybody wants it. You wants it. You want it. Hell, even what's her name?
Nick.
Hold on, we're almost there.
Oh, it's true.
Even Nick wanted it.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Everybody wants it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It provides no immunity. That's if you've done really bad shit. And if you've done really bad shit and you don't want to bring forward because you're afraid you may not be able to, it comes down to what is it? Isn't it usually when you come and talk to a prosecutor, you tell them the truth, hey, I will tell you about this, but this is the deal I want out of it? Why do you think this would be any different?
Well, I think that he may also be referring to immunity from prosecution from the companies that these people work for, that now that they're breaking the NDA, they will seek to prosecute them for breaking it.
Right. Well, I guess it's on a case-by-case basis. It comes down to a negotiation. I will tell you, you don't just walk in the room and say, hey, I've got all this information, and I'm going to tell you about all the different violations the federal government has, show you pictures of the whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. No, I've got some stuff that I can tell you it's about this, and this generally, but I need some additional protection. Are you willing to give it to me? Because otherwise I'm not going to tell you anything. It's like it's like an informant, right? There's always been those agreements going on. I guess he wants it in writing, maybe, but yes, American people, the only way they're going to be able to free UAP whistleblowers to talk to the American people, it's going to have to come from something to the extent of a DOPSR. DOPSR would have to agree. I mean, that's the platform. Everybody who's been a whistleblower, Jay Stratton, Lou Elizondo, and everything. But don't forget, Matthew is one of the newer whistleblowers, and maybe he doesn't agree with the existing system that James Lukatsky, Lou Elizondo, and others have gone through, that it doesn't work. No, it just doesn't happen as fast as we like it. Does government ever move fast?
Not typically.
No. El Pupo, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up, and Jason Sands, what's Jason Sands?
Jason Sands.
Jason Sands. Yeah, he was the one that was in one of James Fox documentaries. He said that NDAs are become immediately invalid if they're there to protect illegal activity. And so I'm not summarizing it, but his opinion,
really quick. This is the same Jason Sands who was on an interview with Joe Rogan and started spewing a bunch of his bullshit. And Fox stood up and told him to stop it. Otherwise, he will walk out of this interview right now. Because the stuff he was spreading was so detrimental and could basically be a poison pill for James Fox's documentary.
Yeah, so, something like that. I can't recall. It was him, Logan, and James Fox. And yeah, James Fox seemed pretty upset about something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Jason Sands had a pretty good legal argument that so let me use an example. If my boss goes, okay, El Popo, you have to sign this NDA, and then he goes and just executes my coworker and goes, all right, well, this NDA said you can't report me because I just, you just signed it. Just because you witness a murder and your boss commits murder and you have an NDA doesn't mean you cannot.
No, because it's an NDA that's covering up an illegal act. And if that particular case, if it was covering up an illegal act, the NDA in its own entirety becomes invalid because you can't have an NDA to protect you from an organization that is violating the law. Right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's not going to be any protection, but correct. And so that's his argument. And I see that argument. I would like to see actual legal, advice on that because I'm not a lawyer or anything. But it is a pretty good point.
No, but there's been
just
case law out there. I guess we'll have to go ahead and look it up. Where if the NDA is attempting to be used to cover up illegal acts, the NDA is null and void and not enforced because it's literally being used to cover up illegal acts. So if then Matthew Brown is upset that it's not giving potential amnesty for people. Well, I guess it could, but if the NDA was put in place to cover up illegal acts, it's not even enforceable in any respect.
I would be even more worried about the private companies because there's a lot of money involved in some of these private companies like Lockheed Martin, and people's brakes get cut. So on the way to go testify.
And people have heart attacks, or they accidentally fall backwards out of a bathroom window that's like 10 stories up and way out of the place. And it's just that's a real problem. It's a real concern for a lot of these people. If I knew something, I would be fearful of my company, regardless of whatever I signed on paper. I'm more worried about the van that I've seen parked down the street for the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Yeah.
These people have real concerns, like life and death concerns.
I guess they're out there, and I guess you just have to take it on a case-by-case basis. Ryan, your hand is up.
Well, like I said, I think we're eventually going to hear about some of these whistleblowers that come forward to pursue. We might not know their names. We might not, other than the national security information. I mean, because there's going to be a report generated, and they could wipe national security information out of these reports and maybe even their name if they wanted.
Of course, the
statements that they have. Yeah,
the data is going to be sanitized. It always is.
So I think we're going to hear things about it. I just things get out. People ask questions, and I don't think this is just going to go into a black hole. That's my point. I think we're going to hear about it. We just have to wait a little while. But I don't see this going into a black hole somewhere where we're never going to hear what whistleblowers have told them. As long as it doesn't affect the national security, I think they would release it.
Well, they can, and that's the key. But where does the edge of national security and public knowledge actually reach, and where should it be? There are videos that were taken of a giant craft, triangular in shape, the size of an American football field, that surfaced right along an aircraft carrier on the east coast of the United States. Full video and everything of the craft coming up and then shooting off into the sky. Now,
I hear a lot of people saying...
there's nothing that's there in that video that would... it's all known methods and sources that we have on the craft for going ahead and recording it. There's nothing that would raise a national security concern to go ahead and actually release it, except that it shows a giant UFO coming out of the sky. Coming out of the ocean and shooting up. And this is reportedly happened around the same time that we had the Go Fast and the gimbal.
But yeah, I just like I said earlier, when the UAP task force was going on, we didn't find out about that till it was concluded, and I think that's what's going on here. They're trying to get to the bottom of this first, and I just see this coming out in the future. I don't see this going into a black hole. So
it's moving forward. We have a president who wants to make stuff happen, thank God, and there's a path looking forward. Now, if I can, I've got something here coming up. Thomas, here we go. Coming from Holden Colada, Annie Jacobson just left the Joe Rogan's podcast speechless. She had a private meeting with DARPA last week talking about AI and others. Let's go ahead and give this a quick take. Here we go.
10 years ago, I would have told you, listen, there's no way the Defense Department could have a threat in its airspace and not be dealing with it. And my position on that has changed, and I'll tell you why specifically. So in addition to being invited to the White House and the Senate last week, I was also invited to come talk to DARPA, which is like, you know what DARPA is?
Sure.
Which was very interesting because I wrote a book on DARPA called The Pentagon's Brain 10 years ago, and I couldn't get DARPA to call me back. I mean, I literally had to interview retired DARPA people. And then here they are saying, would you come to a Q&A with us on your bio book? And I was like, wow, times have changed. Yeah. And one of the things that they were seriously worried about, so I did a Q&A, But before that, they said, would you like to come sit in on, like, some of the smartest people, you know, talking about situations that are coming up right now. And you can come to the unclassified part of it. I said, by all means. So I went there. And there was serious concern about AI-enabled bio, right? So this seems like a digression here, but this is what I'm getting at. I'm leaning in because 10 years ago, I also would have told you DARPA, you know, is the leading science and technology military agency in the world. No one is more advanced. I said that with authority, and I believed it. And after attending this DARPA session and listening to them talk about how concerned they are about AI-enabled bio, and talking about how there is talk among the 6 CEOs of pulling the plug on AI-enabled bio.
Really quick, coming from AVM in the chat, didn't realize this. He's saying Annie Jacobson still thinks Roswell crash aliens are mutilated children, so she's able to go ahead and get information that's clearly disinformation and take it for truth, which takes a lot of her stuff that she's saying and throws it out the window. Throws the baby, you know, the bathwater out with the baby out the window of the second story home.
But they have to be able to get the 6 CEOs to agree first. It really took my breath away because I went, I am actually listening to the new reality that the CEOs of these AI companies have more power to make decisions about technology than the Department of Defense.
Well, yeah, Daryl, I think this comes down to is the AI models that have been coming out are so advanced and can break through different levels of security, encryption, and everything else, potentially even going out there to some people. There was a crypto wallet. The entire wallet that everyone was using was cracked, and everyone lost all of their Bitcoin. So I guess it comes out to saying, yeah, there is these advanced AI platforms that are coming out, but is the DOD in charge of it? Is the government's trying to be in charge of it? But it sounds like she's saying, yeah, these tech CEOs are kind of like in charge of their own war machine.
Yeah, and does she keep saying AI engineered bio or AI bio?
Then the Department of Defense.
I thought it was AI engineered bio, wasn't it?
I was just trying to figure out what she was referring to.
All right, give me a second.
I will say, artificial intelligence is transforming biology by accelerating research in protein folding, genomics, and drug design. I wonder if that's what she's talking about.
It could be. It sounds like it definitely could be. Let's see if there's anything else that I've got sitting. We got Jared Isaacman. We've got that. We've got the stuff that's gone on earlier in the week. Don't need to show that. Wow. I think I guess we haven't gone back into the catalog of what's gone on last week. Like all the great peaceful protests that are happening in Spain. Yeah. This is one that happened. It looks like they've created a campfire out of a municipal bus to go ahead and actually, hold a barbecue. Not sure if what they're roasting. Hopefully it's not the local pets, but it could be potentially they could have marshmallows, chocolate, and graham crackers, and they could be making s'mores. Andy, your hand is up.
Can I join in on this a minute, Thomas? Because actually, this Ceuta, where they've invaded, this is actually still in Africa. This is a Spanish enclave.
It's a territory in Africa on the other side of the Straits of Gibraltar.
Yeah, it's about 7.1 miles long. So I looked up yesterday.
Yeah.
60,000 people have basically invaded a 7.1 mile. They must be walking shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, there were already 80,000 people living there, so it basically took the existing infrastructure and they doubled it in one day. Now they've said that like 25,000, 30,000 people have potentially left, but you still have that sizable invasion force that's still there. You know, everyone looks at this and said, this is crazy, but this is the kind of invasion we were getting in the United States on a daily basis under the last administration.
Yeah, and somebody put a barrier up, and it's gone down to pretty near enough zero. No, I'm all for, genuine asylum seekers who are persecuted. The issue we have in Europe, and which is probably the same in the US, is these are not genuine asylum seekers.
No, of course not.
They are financial. They're financial.
They're going at it. They're going at it for a financial, for an economic opportunity, rather than my house has been destroyed. I'm part of a war, and I'm seeking asylum.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to get arrested for this, but we have it here in the UK. I thought, France is a terribly, terribly dangerous place. That's why
even Germany in a lot of the different towns that used to be completely safe. All of Europe in a lot of areas used to be safe. You'd walk around and it was just like this nice European village. It was clean. All the stores were open. Everything that's going on, and now it's like all the stores are closed down. You have all this high level of crime and just a different type of element on the streets. I mean, back when I was going to Europe and in Germany, especially back in around 2005, the worst you had were some Turks here and there going around, but they were nice. They were civil people. It was just somebody else that was there, but it's just really changed. I hate to say it.
Yeah,
now,
I don't think these 60,000 people are staying on this island. So I'm kind of curious, Andy, have you guys been feeling or been worried about them making their way up your direction?
Oh, they will eventually. I'm sure of that. Obviously, Italy, France, Spain, they're very dangerous places. You have to escape mainland Europe to come to this island because obviously this is the most safe place that you have to transit to.
But the far left Democrat Party, not sure it's the Social Democrats, but something equivalent in Germany, has said, bring all the asylum seekers to Germany immediately.
Well, if you get thrown in jail for saying that, Andy, just give us a call, and I'm sure we'll help you get bailed out.
Yeah, I'm sure I can come to the US as a political asylum.
Yeah, no
persecuted
shit.
Or
yeah, I hear you completely, and I think I've got some more bookmarks of this. Let's see what I can find here. I guess got out of that post, and here we go. So this is an interesting one. This one apparently shows, it may not be correct, but as they're getting close to the border of where in Morocco, where they're trying to come in to the enclave of the Spanish government, there were a bunch of trucks driving around filled with people. And I think I've got a clip here of potentially, what the hell is that? Even that. Okay, all bookmarks. We've got another one here where they're coming in. No women, no children, all people who are of, army fighting age.
Somebody in the chat said 90% of them have already gone home. Does anybody have any?
We had heard a couple days ago that there was about 40% of the people have gone back. I haven't seen where it's going today. But you just have to wonder, this is something that was organized on Facebook. Have to see where that goes. All right, here's another one.
That the challenges.
All right, here we go. This is from Spain. Daryl, do you want to guess?
Hey, Thomas,
go ahead.
I just threw something in the chat. I don't know if you saw the video earlier because I wasn't able to watch the show, but there's a new Northrop Grumman commercial that came out today. That if you look at the very end of it, they show a triangle-shaped UFO flying over Earth, and I just put that in the chat. That is very interesting. I just watched that for the first time.
Cool. We'll show that in 1 second. Thank you.
I put it in the.
I got it.
You're welcome.
We got it. Perfect. So, do you want to guess where this is, Daryl?
Well, it looks like it looks like the two on the right were the southern border at some point.
This is the United States. So we had shit like this going on every single day for day after day, year after year, and it was fucking ignored. Now things are happening in Europe and saying, oh my God, look at the shit that's going on over in Europe. Look at this stuff that's happening and all these people that are coming in. Welcome to the leftist agenda, Daryl. Just saying. It's you know, an effort to replace the existing population.
Yeah, it's interesting, the comments. Oh, maybe this is a good poll. Let's do a poll on this. Like,
sure.
Because I'm seeing people in the back chat. Some people are saying it's all smoke and mirrors. It's
no, it's this real shit.
But I mean, let's ask the poll. What's the poll?
It's real shit, but I think all this shit is staged, though.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, it's planned. It's not staged. It's planned.
Well, yeah, planned. That's what I meant to say, planned. Because there's no way in the world, like, listen, like, the borders has always been open to a certain point, not like this.
This is in Spain, but this is equivalent to one day we would have in the United States attacking our borders. We had lines like this every fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
And here we've just gotten one little spot and part of Spain's being, invaded, but they kind of asked for it because they said, we're going to give asylum to everybody who wants to come in. Well, there you go.
That's where it fucked up at. It should be like provisions or not provisions.
Yeah. I mean, there's no preparedness. They all have their shirts off, all the different stuff. They took their shirts off maybe while going through it. And if it's anything, more than anything, it's to show as an exercise that your borders suck and we can invade you at any particular time.
All right. Poll starting now.
All right. Go for it.
It's already started.
All right. So are these displays of mass immigration anything to worry about? So for our audience right now, 71% of our audience is saying yes. 81% of our audience is saying yes. 86, is saying no. That is a strong, if you want to call it direction one way or the other, Daryl, that's saying, yeah, it's an issue. But if you don't have the forces there to deal with it, there's no way to stop it, is there?
No, I just noticed that $50 super chat from the elevator guy.
Yeah. Joseph, yeah, absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you,
nice.
Joseph. Yeah. 81% of our audience. Okay, Google, set a timer for 1 minute, please.
All right, 1 minute.
We've already been going for a period of time. Let's just see where this is going to take us.
Yeah, my dog's wanting to get some food.
Yeah. So far with 48 seconds left, 82% of our audience is saying yes. Are these displays of mass migration anything to worry about? And you should be. A country without borders is not a country. And if you had all of a sudden all these people coming in, they don't have jobs, they need places to live, they need food, they need medical and everything else. Also, who's going to take care of the sexual desires of all these guys, right? It's all part of a healthy body, healthy mind syndrome. And who's going to pay for it? Why would we not want to take care of our own people first and then open your borders like this? You're going to go broke instantly, wouldn't you, Sweaty?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this has, you know what? I need everyone to understand that this has been going on for decades. You know what I mean? With these, borders being opening and stuff like that. The thing is that, there's a reason why we having these mass, migration that's coming to this country and other countries is because the governments, they want to change, the landscape, you know what I'm saying? And they feel
in other words, bring people in to change the political landscape. A particular party lets you in. We want you to be part of it. We're going to give you citizenship, but we want you to vote our way.
Yep, and cheap labor. Because think about it, all the jobs, the low end jobs, a lot of immigrants take those. You know what I'm saying? So it's like You know, but I mean, it is what it is.
Somebody just said you're playing a video of Happy Youth. Yes, well, the Happy Youth are illegally.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean,
There you go. This is the one where
situation-
they open the back of the truck. Here we go. They're running behind the truck. This is before one of the trucks that's empty, and here's when they open up the back of the truck. Someone had to organize the trucks, right? Someone had to organize the police to go ahead and stop there, let the people out of the truck. Someone had to go ahead and be behind this event, this thing that's going on. You could say, oh, wow, look, it's a shopping mall takeover, but it's on the scale of a country's state takeover.
I will say, though, I do get where people are coming from, that it's a stunt versus mass migration. They aren't carrying backpacks.
Yeah. I guess
the video right here of watching the cop just watching all these people come off this truck. You know what I mean? It says a lot in itself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is planned. You know, and I'm pretty sure over here is planned as well too. You know, that's why we got to put in the right people in the office. They won't have shit like this happen again.
Yeah, people are saying kids having fun but not knowing the ramification. Yeah, but it also just it's a great demonstration to go ahead and show that unless your borders are properly reinforced, you don't have a border. So having a border with a simple fence, a couple people there going ahead and watching over it, it's not going to stop an invasion of things that are going to go on. You have military at the border, fortified borders. You're going to stop people from getting in.
Yeah.
It shows a line in the sand can be easily ignored. And that's what we're kind of talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All governments, when they have problems like this, just build like big, giant skyscraper, big ass walls.
Video here, chaos at the border of.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I mean, if the movies can, project big old skyscraper walls and in whole, near future dystopia, why can't the government do that?
It reminds me of a zombie invasion in a lot of movies we've seen. Yeah.
Or Z.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But, but this is what, this is what happens when we elect people that's supposed to be in our best interest.
But this is in Spain. This is what Spain is doing, but Spain has also said anybody who comes in who's a migrant or not, they call them migrants, but it's legally, it's illegal immigrants. We're going to go ahead and welcome you and give you citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically right now in this location, it doubled the population in a day.
Yeah. And you know what, to anybody out there who thinks that, folks like us that seems to think that we're racist or anything like that. We're not racist. It's just that we're trying to look out for our own. We're trying to make sure that, home is taken care of first before we start letting everybody else in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of these folks that come in, they get free government grants and all this stuff. You know what I mean?
They get more money than people who are on welfare from the United States of America by multiple times over. And it's just like, but there's people who can't even get welfare who deserve it. Nope. But we're spending the money on this. It's why so many cities like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're all going bankrupt because they're pushing so much money into supporting people who are coming in versus, taking care of the citizens who are already, paying the bills.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad because, it creates this whole narrative of a divide. You know what I'm saying? Like people think, folks like us that work hard and bust our ass and our tails and go to work every day and pay back into this country for taxes. People think that we're the bad guys. We're not the bad guys. We just want to make sure that home is taken care of first, you know what I'm saying, and everything else. Then we can worry about everybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's you know what's crazy too? Another thing I found out, the people that do come over here, they will get more information on free grants and all this other stuff than people here in this country.
You're
that knows that this people in this country that know that now knows that they can get free money from the government, free grants and all that, but they're not being told that. Instead, the migrants or the legal aliens, they're being told that as soon as they come in this country.
Right. They're shown the way. They get in the free cell phones. They get, the whole things, the data, how to deal with it. El Pupo, your hand is up on this.
Oh, no, it still might be bugged. Sorry about that.
No,
it's fucked up. It's fucked up, Thomas. It really is. You know what I mean?
And it's not that we don't recognize what, that there may be a potential need from things that are going on, but it's just, there has to be a limit. That's why we have legalized immigration into the United States. And if you follow the rules, you can get in, but people don't like rules and they just want to set their own. But, again, somebody has to pay for it.
Yeah. It's also cheap labor too. Cheap labor.
Yeah.
They don't have to, companies don't have to pay them very much for labor.
Yeah.
And it lowers the wages for everybody. So
and it also causes a housing shortage.
Yep.
Which takes the cost of housing for everybody else who's there and raises it up. Because now we have the government going ahead and buying up all this housing for these individuals, which is making a tighter housing market, right?
Bro, listen, I'm trying to get housing. You know what I mean? I'm staying here with my sister, but it's hard for me to get housing. And I've been, and listen, I was born here, born and raised, generations. So it's like, you get a person that just came in last week, he gets a house, he gets a good job or a job, period. He gets a grant money to open up business and all that. I got to go through all this just to get that, bro.
Right.
And most of the time, I don't even get that. So it's crazy, man. It's like, but
the cheap labor that undercuts everybody else.
Yeah.
If you own a business, if you own a trade business like construction or something, you're getting outbid by cheap costs and cheap labor. That's what I.
That happened in the late 70s, early 80s in the Midwest. We had a big influx of immigration coming from Mexico, coming through Mexico, and there were a lot of carpenters suddenly that started appearing everywhere, and people were paying them cash under the table, and the existing unions and the existing companies that were around there, they had to start adapting to it because they were losing jobs and had to start bidding against someone who had a workforce that was working for a fraction of the cost of what the existing population can handle.
Yeah, you just described the Texas home building industry.
Oh, that was the Chicago in the early 80s. It sucked.
That's Texas now.
It's not racist what we're saying. It's not racist. It's just bad for. It's just
the truth.
The economics of it is bad for us working people. No matter what race you are, no matter what place you come from. If you're doing it the right way in America, you're getting undercut, and it affects everything when you have people that own businesses that don't pay taxes or have under the table. Like you were saying, it lowers the cost.
Really quick, a lot of the people who've just invaded Morocco have returned on their own. But look at all the ones that have already come in before this even happened. Look at the United States, look everywhere else, what's going on with the demographics, what's happening. And it's just, it's putting our modern civilization as we understand it at risk.
Here's another prime example. So where I live at, right, these were newly built. The workers that built all this are all from another country.
Yeah,
like there are legal Hispanics around that are doing it the right way, and they don't like this either. So it doesn't have anything to do with race.
Of course.
Why would you want it to?
But I'm just saying, it's like like the guys that built these, they all, I don't know their status, but they all Hispanic. It's like,
all the ones that are coming through here are actually North African, and they're all coming in Morocco, right?
Yeah, I know that. But I'm talking about when they built this, you know what I'm saying? They were all Hispanic. You know what I mean? I ain't see no other race. Like no whites.
There are Hispanics and stuff that are doing it the right way here, that have been here for a while, that came in the right way, and they don't like this more than probably. Because these people are not doing it the right way. They're under the table wages and lowering the cost for lowering the labor cost for everybody, and they can get the job a lot easier when they're not paying their taxes every year, like Hispanics or Africans that are doing it the right way that are already here. They hate this shit. So it doesn't matter what race you are. It's just bad economic for everybody to have. This.
Now, just like you said, listen, I don't mind, and I'm pretty sure the majority of everybody don't mind people, if you're coming from another country, if you do it the right way and you work hard just like any other American, you get rewarded at the end. We don't mind that. But just don't come in and just thinking that you're going to get spoon and platter in your hand, and while everybody else is over here suffering, they've been here forever. The government, listen, I don't care what political party you in, listen, we got to start holding these people accountable for this shit, because this don't make no sense, man. Everybody's suffering. Even the ones that, that did it the right way, they're suffering as well, and that's not right to them either. Because now with those folks, they're getting labeled with the rest of those folks, and that's not right.
It's never right, is it?
It's not right at all, man. But again, we gotta, as voters, what I'm saying, we gotta put in the right folks in office. Doesn't matter what party you're in, who you might agree with, disagree with.
Talk about for a second. I need to use the restroom really quick. Go ahead, Sweaty.
It's like this is. I don't know, man. This is.
But getting back to the disclosure thing.
Yeah, let's get back.
I think Mike dropped out. I hope he comes back, but I don't know. Thomas left, but does anybody have any opinions on what's going on with this disclosure? El Popo.
You talking about the statement that was released by the White House, I think, or the Department.
Yeah, I think it's a step in I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it is because see, like this, right? They had to get out there in front of it. To clarify, because it was like when they first announced that they was going to allow the whistleblowers and everybody else to step forward and without the repercussions. That's where they kind of dropped the ball at without putting out an official statement. Because now they have to play catch up now. To try to fix it up, because when they first announced that the whistleblowers going to go out and speak whatever.
All right, I have to correct the disinformation. I have to correct the disinformation here really quick.
Oh, okay.
Mike had to step out because of family things. I had to step out because I had to piss for drinking national security.
Oh, okay.
So, I didn't step away. Yeah, I did step away for a second, but we just have to go ahead and do it. Yeah, it's been an interesting week on disclosure and everything that's happened. Yeah, there's been a lot of changes, especially coming from NASA. We got Lou Elizondo pushing back on a bunch of statements that were made by UAP Gerb over on the Ross Coulthart podcast. It's coming down to now Ross Coulthart, as we've been calling him out, is a, what would you call him? He's a tabloid journalist. But we've been calling it out for the longest time. We're just seeing more and more proof that as time goes on, he's going to, more and more fringe people to get him the salacious headlines that he needs to go ahead and bring in the audience to pay the salary, because he's a kept man from News Nation. If he doesn't deliver the stories, doesn't deliver the impact the News Nation is paying him for, that means it's a termination of his contract and the job that's putting the food on his table. So he's, going to that area, but where he's, getting to, where he's getting in towards, it's just really fucking dirty. And it's just, he's a big disappointment. I would say that. But as we've been seeing going on with disclosure, as the news gets quiet, usually that's when Ross got Megan, his producer, to come on board. And his producers started asking Ross the questions, which means now the whole thing was about Ross talking about, and they were interviewing Ross, when Ross, who's the journalist, should be the person who's like doing the interviews, right, Sweaty?
Yeah, but so this is what happens when you let too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah. God, yeah.
And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, you know, listen, Ross is a good journalist, but as far as this whole shit that he's done, I'm totally disappointed and I don't like it.
Yes.
So it's like, you know what I mean? Hopefully he'll learn his errors of his ways, but I doubt that very much because, you know, he got new office and everything else and money in the bank.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see.
Yes, it's a freak show, and it's why I call him Ross Clownheart, coming from King Bull 90s. Absolutely, we get you, my friend, on that note. I thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. More importantly, if I can find it, where is the... I actually got rid of the... We had a poll going for the longest time. Are these displays of mass immigration anything to worry about? Ended up going way too long, 93 votes in, and saying 77% of our audience did say yes on that. So let's get that out of the way. And I want to go ahead and find where's the social stream dashboard. There it is. Oh, I just put it behind OBS. Let's go ahead and turn that off. I want to thank NYC Elevator Guy for our super chat tonight. Appreciate your love and support of everything we do here at Disclosure tonight. But what's the old saying? But wait, there's more. Yeah, there was more because we actually got a super chat before the show started. It should be here somewhere. Where the fuck is that? Top chat. Fan funding. There we go. Also want to go ahead and before the show started, we did get a super chat coming in from first one from Monica France. $10. Thank you very much. Thank you for the constant coverage. Disclosure tonight. Next one came from Psychosnot Knock. Let's celebrate their first super on the live stream. Thank you very much. €5. Appreciate it. And of course, NYC Elevator Guy. Thank you very much for your wonderful love and support of what we do here. Daryl, are you still with us?
I'm there. I'm here.
You're here, but you're not on. But anyway, I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for the show tonight. It's been fun as usual.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Remember, Monday we're going to have a regular show. We'll probably be off on Tuesday, but we're back Wednesday with Lou Elizondo. Live interview, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We'll start and go from there. Should be a fun one. Mark it on your calendar, folks.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody. But where the hell is... Let me turn off that one sound effect, turn that off, and let's get back to it. Eyes open, no fear, be safe, everybody. But... Fucking show it. Come on, goddammit. Go back to Party City where you belong. Absolutely. See you soon, everybody. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Come on, Thomas. You're messing up, man.
I know.